What's up, guys? Jades back here again with yet another Teen Wolf What If video. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys what if Derek Hale killed Allison Argent. Now, this is going to be the follow-up to what if Styles Stilinski got the bite. And this takes place in the same timeline as what if Scott McCall killed Peter Hale at the end of season 1. So if you guys have been enjoying these what if videos, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And when you do, turn on post notifications so that you never miss a future upload from me as we continue to approach the goal of reaching 4,000 subscribers. We are about 70 subscribers away from hitting 4K. So if you guys could be a part of helping us reach that goal, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, if you just enjoy these what if videos in general, make sure you leave a like. It really helps this video do better in the algorithm along with all my other videos. So if you guys could do that too, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for any what if videos in the future after this one, make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Never hurts to leave a comment. I always try to get back to them as much as possible. So if you guys could also do that, that'd also be greatly appreciated. So yeah, not too much to get into. One more thing I gotta mention is that 62% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed. So once again, as mentioned before, if you could subscribe to the channel, help us get that number down and help us reach 4,000 subscribers, that'd be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's get into today's story, because it's probably gonna be one of the saddest what if stories of all time. This story is very tragic. So to begin, this event takes place around season 2, episode 8, which is also known as Raving. In the original timeline, Allison's mother, Victoria Argent, held Scott captive as she used special wolfsbane to try and kill him alive. Derek Hale, who was an alpha at the time in the original timeline, broke in the building where they were in and gave her the bite, which eventually led to the death of Mrs. Argent in the next episode. In this alternate timeline, Scott McCall is already an alpha by the time the events of season 2 take place. He's killed Peter Hale and made new enemies out of old allies, the greatest of which at the moment being the Omega werewolf Derek Hale. He's also turned his best friend Styles Stilinski into a werewolf by his own request, due to him not wanting to be weak anymore. So far, the events of this timeline, season 2, are extremely different. Gerard has arrived and has been hunting werewolves since his arrival. Jackson, out of revenge and annoyance, has joined the Argents and trained under Chris to become his protege. Scott has been trying to learn from Deaton the responsibilities of being an alpha because he has no one else to teach him that has been an alpha before. Which leads us to the current timeline in which Scott McCall is about to suffer his greatest loss thus far in his life. Scott, Styles, and Allison were on a mission to try and rescue a young Omega from Gerard and his hunters in a gay club. The goal was to try and get the young Omega out of the club before the hunters get a chance to kill him so that they could potentially recruit him into the pack. The name of this Omega was Isaac Leahy. He was a student from Beacon Hills High School who was bitten by an alpha who had ran into town trying to build a pack but was killed by Gerard a few weeks prior. Scott's goal was to go inside the building and track down Leahy since he had his scent. Styles' goal was to fend off any incoming hunters who tried to ambush Scott or catch him off guard while he's trying to look for the kid. Allison's goal was to try and convince her father to turn on Gerard due to him tearing their family apart and leading them down a road that could possibly start a bloody war that will tear the town apart. Stalking every party involved was Derek Hale, Scott's former teacher and ally. He had been plotting his revenge on McCall for about a month or two since the death of his uncle Peter Hale. He waited for Styles and Scott to go inside the building so that Allison could be left alone outside. He then dropped down from the building right behind Allison and her father, Chris Argent. Allison then alerted her father of his presence. He quickly turned around to find Derek transformed already and his teeth growing as he smiles menacingly. Derek throws a punch at Argent, but Argent easily dodges it and takes out dual pistols. He begins to shoot at the werewolf, but Derek manages to take some cover behind a garbage can. Chris yells, "Come out, Derek. If you want to ambush and kill me, you're going to have to try a lot harder than that." Derek responds saying, "I'm not here to kill you, but using guns is a little bit unfair, don't you think? However, how about fighting me without the guns and see how well you do?" Allison then realizes that he's here to kill her and tells her father to kill him because he's after her. Derek gets pissed. Damn it, she already figured it out. Gotta finish this before she can get to Stilinski and McCall. He runs from his hiding spot, and the Argents begin to shoot at him again. He then jumps over Argent's SUV and fights him in a similar fashion to how Red Hood fought Nightwing in Titan Season 3, Episode 4. The fight is intense, and this is the fastest we ever see Argent fight a werewolf in the series thus far. Derek tries his best to injure him, but Argent blocks his strikes with his arms, and the two continue to dodge their attacks as Chris screams, "Run!" to Allison. She turns around and tries to run towards the front entrance. That way, if Derek gets to her, crowds of people will be there to force him to go away. Derek finally manages to land a devastating blow on Argent, slicing across his back and piercing his claws in the back of his shoulder. "You forget, Chris. You're only a human. You can only keep up with me for so long." Although, it was a nice effort. It gave me a little bit of an exercise, but there's no stopping the inevitable. I will kill your daughter, and you can thank Scott McCall for that. As Chris drops to the floor exhausted and screams, "No!" as he's rendered unconscious. Meanwhile, Allison, almost to the front entrance, is stopped by Derek, who appears in front of her as she turned around to check on her father. She tries to defend herself by taking out her crossbow and immediately firing off a shot, only for Derek to catch it right before it pierces his eye. He then breaks the arrow in half and begins to walk towards Allison, and she starts to panic and walks backwards away from him. She takes out a pair of dual knives and strikes at Derek to no avail as he grabs both of her arms and starts to squeeze them to the point of her dropping the weapons. He then pushes her to the ground and she crawls back as she has no more weapons to fight him with. She manages to get up and start running away as Derek just laughs at her efforts. He then appears behind her, grabbing her by the neck and choking her, pinning her against the side of the building. He then whispers in her ear, "Your boyfriend should have never killed my uncle. It's unfortunate that I have to do this, as you seem like somewhat of a decent human being, but I need to break him as revenge for taking the power that should have been passed down to me. I need him to lose his heart." He pierces his hand through Allison's back and she lets out an extremely painful scream, so loud that Scott can hear from inside the building. Styles is fighting off some hunters and Scott tells him to finish them off and find Isaac as Allison's in trouble. Everyone heard the scream. People in front of the building started to walk towards the source of the noise, with Scott exiting the front doors and pushing people out the way. He could smell the blood as he followed the scent, and it led him right towards a dying Allison. He screamed, "Allison!" and she was lying on the ground, coughing up blood, still barely alive. He rushed to her side and tried to take her pain, but it wasn't enough. She said her final words, "Scott, I love you. I love you so much, but it wasn't supposed to be like this. I don't want to die. I'm too young to die. It isn't fair. Derek did this to," and just like that, Allison dies in Scott's arms, with him breaking down while holding her dead body. Chris finally wakes up from being unconscious to see his daughter's body being held by Scott. "No, no, 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 no," he says to himself as he sees Scott stand up and run off to go find Derek. Derek wasn't too far away as he ran deep into Beacon Hills Preserve. Scott, however, extremely pissed off and full of rage and anger, found him quickly due to Allison's blood still being on his hand. With no dialogue, Scott shoves Derek with momentous force, sending him flying back towards a tree, injuring his back in the process. "Yes, be angry. Feel exactly how I felt as you tore my future right from the palm of my hands," said Derek sarcastically. Scott walked over to him, piercing his back with both hands and picking him up, while proceeding to slam his body down on his knees, breaking his ribcage. Hale, in pain, screams as he's thrown to the side like trash, coughing up blood. Now, he still continues to talk down on Scott. McCall then walks over and gets down and claws his eyes out. With Hale now suffering, Scott decided to finally finish him off by slicing open his throat, killing him for good and leaving Hale's body to rot next to the burned down Hale residence, effectively ending the Hale bloodline for good, or so we think. Scott roared into the night, emotionally and saddened by the loss of the person he loved the most in this world. The night was not a triumph. It was and will be remembered as Scott McCall's greatest failure. How he will bounce back from this, we will have to see. But for now, it looks as though everyone is in shambles due to the death of Allison Argent. So that is essentially today's what if. If I stuttered a few times, I apologize. But overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed the story. It took a little bit of thinking to get this story to work and to make it really emotional. I know my voice acting isn't the best. I'll try to work on that in the future to try and get like certain emotions to really be felt. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Once again, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this what if story. Part 4 will probably come out next week. Still having trouble deciding on what the follow-up to this will be. It'll probably be something in the lines of maybe seeing Scott's aftermath and his thoughts on what's going on. We never really got the chance to see that in the actual show itself when Allison died in season 3. So it'd be nice to explore that, just to see where Scott's mind is. And yeah, if you guys enjoy Teen Wolf content, Teen Wolf what ifs, who would win videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Help us reach our goal of 4,000 subscribers. And when you do, turn on post notifications so that you never miss a future upload from me. Comment your thoughts on this. What follow-up video would you like to see after this sad ass what if story today? And without further ado, I'm Jades Corner. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity as always. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces.